What? Just screwing around. Hi, how's it going? How are you? How's the wife and kids? It's good to see you again. Or, if you don't have wife and kids, still good to see you again. Or, if you're a horrible, horrible psycho killer type, it's good that you're seeing me from a distance. Yeah. So, yeah, there's that. I'm in a weird mood today. I've been all over the place today. I've been doing some strenuous physical stuff, and I think they moved my house to the surface of the sun, so it's that hot outside. Literally, my hair was wet when I went out the door, and it was dry within, 2 minutes. I mean, seriously. It was hot today. And the sun, that cursed day star over your head, was beating down. It was a terrible thing. You can probably tell by my complexion that me and sunlight don't get along. I'm a night person, more or less. But I need to go someplace where there's more overcast and less 90-degree and 80 to 90% humidity all the time. Just gonna put that out there. Now, enough rambling about how miserable the heat is. I have been contacted by someone about talking about their Kickstarter. A fellow by the name of Andreas Walters, who he's got a new Kickstarter, and honestly, I looked at it and I was like, that's actually really cool. Yeah, I'll talk about it. I often find myself in this situation where I can't really contribute a whole lot to Kickstarters that I want to contribute to. But you know what I can do? I can boost signal. And I'm definitely going to boost the signal on this one. This is a neat idea. It is the NPC cards, or non-player cards. So the idea behind them is you use them to come up with the sort of non-game specific details about a non-player character. What's his role? How does he connect to people? What's the relationships involved? His name, some quirks about him, what makes him interesting, things like that. And I know a lot of people who have a hard time filling in those aspects to their non-player characters. Especially on the fly. If they're trying to come up with something quick to toss in to add to their campaign, it can be hard sometimes to come up with these things. I've always been good at coming up with names, and I don't know why, because I'm terrible at remembering them. I am. I'm just awful at remembering people's real names. It's like I've got some strange form of Alzheimer's that only applies to names. It's kind of terrible, but I've always been good at coming up with names. Cool names for stuff and people and things like that. I don't know why, I can sort of find which name fits within the sort of narrative structure and the theme and such to make it, work. But a lot of people really struggle with names. They'll buy, baby books, and they'll have little websites set aside. This is going to be a sort of a card-based solution to that. It'll be a card-based solution to giving your NPCs something to make them memorable. How are they related to the PCs? What's their job? Are they an adventurer? Are they, a hunter of some sort? Like a vampire hunter or a demon hunter or something like that. Are they compulsive gamblers? Are they drunks? Things like that. Those little bits of character that make a character really memorable and interesting and so on. sometimes they appear in the course of play as you're going along, and sometimes you have a hard time making them interesting. And people will be like, yeah, we should go talk to that thing dude, the one who's in the town that had the stuff. You don't want that. Okay, you don't want that from your players. You don't want them to go, yeah, the thing, the guy with the stuff. Nah. You want them to go, oh yeah, old Pete, the town drunk. I think he's like so-and-so's uncle. Well, we should go talk to him. You want them to have those connections, those little memorable traits. This is where the non-player cards comes in. This is where you use it to sort of randomly generate those things when you're having a hard time coming up with them. And I thought, when I saw the Kickstarter, I was like, you know what? This is pretty cool. I think this is worth checking out. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll talk about it. So yeah, definitely go check it out. I'll include a link in the show notes to talk about it. And I think I'm going to talk about Kickstarter stuff more often for games and such, game-related stuff on Kickstarter that I think is cool, that you might want to check out, that maybe I can't afford to contribute that much. I contributed like $5 to Reading Rainbow, because it's, well, Reading Rainbow. Why wouldn't I? I don't have any kids or anything, so none of the rewards are all that useful to me, and I don't have a lot of money to contribute these days. So I can only contribute once in a while. And I was thinking that maybe I might make it a regular thing, that I talk about some Kickstarters and some Patreons and such that I think are worth your time to check out. Because, honestly, there's some great projects out there that maybe don't get as much attention as they should. And I'll talk about another one soon. Actually, I'll go ahead and mention another one that I saw. It's out of Australia, I believe. Yeah, it's out of Australia by a guy named Wade Dyer out of Melbourne. It's called Fragged Empire. Also an awesome looking Kickstarter. It's a post-apocalyptic game. Beautiful book from what pages he's posted up. The world looks really interesting. It's not like most of the time when people say they're post-apocalyptic, they say things like we're right after or maybe a couple of years after the apocalypse, and society is completely broken and nothing's going on. This is much further after the apocalypse, and society has been irrevocably changed. There are mutants and such out there. And, there is an element to it that is very sort of recovering the lost civilization that was there, and then there was the element of building something new, building something interesting. It's very sci-fi. It's got multiple races and sort of an interesting structure to it. It's a more like a space opera in a lot of ways, with the sort of post-apocalyptic element to it. And I thought it was worth taking a look at. I am kind of on the broke side, so if I contribute to it, it will be a little further down the road. Both of these Kickstarters that I've talked about today have, let's see, the non-player cards is 29 days, and the Fragged Empire is 31 days left on them, as of the time of recording. So bear in mind that I'm recording on July 1st, and they may have moved on since then, if you're looking at this later. But both of them look awesome, and are worth your time to go check out, and contribute if you can. Non-player cards, one of the things that I really hope that they do is they're talking about if they reach the point where they can have stretch goals, maybe doing some apps as stretch goals, and, so you're not necessarily tied to the cards themselves. So you could do it with like a little program on your tablet or something, which would be super useful at the table. And I'm hoping they reach that point. Fragged Empire, it's a game book, so the further they get along, the more cool stuff they put into the book. So all of them are, both of them are worth your time. Both of them are worth checking out. You should go look at them, and give them some money if you can. And if you can't, boost their signal. Get them to people who might be interested and have money. It's a thing. People can talk about such things. And beyond that, we got the Reading Rainbow thing that's about to hit its thing, and they're going to be at what, $5 million probably before they finish out. I think they're, at this point, I just checked their page. At this point, they are at $4,932,199, and they've got 18 hours to go. So they're probably going to hit $5 million. And then Seth MacFarlane is probably going to give them $1 million on top of that. So $6 million means that they can give it for free to a bunch of schools, and that's awesome. And by the time most people have seen this, it will have already finished. But because it's got 18 hours to go at this point, and I'm recording at like 8:30 at night on July 1st. But Kickstarter is great for this sort of thing. It's great for taking those ideas and just like running with them and coming up with things that you want to see more of. I've definitely contributed to Kickstarters in the past. I contributed to the Ouya Kickstarter. Obviously contributed to the Lady Saber Kickstarter, and a few others. And particularly with the niche items like games, it's a great way for people to sort of get those things turned from here's this cool dream I had to here's this cool thing that I can share with people. It's also, rife with failures from time to time. They just don't happen, but often they do. And I think I'll probably talk about cool Kickstarter projects more in the future. And also Patreon, because there's some Patreons that I support that I think other people should support. Other sort of crowdsourced funding projects. There's some game products that use Patreon, which I think is a really interesting idea. They basically turn it into a subscription that you only pay for items when they come out. And that's kind of neat. I'm not going to lie, that's kind of neat. So yeah, I think those are things I'll probably talk about more often in the future. If you know of a cool Kickstarter or a cool Patreon that needs some loving, needs some, spreading of the word, let me know. I'm down for, spreading the word as best I can. Like I said, I may not have all the money in the world anymore, or ever, but I can at least do something. I can at least direct people's attention to things I think are awesome and need a little extra support. And so, let me know. If you've got a Kickstarter, if you've got a Patreon or an Indiegogo or something like that you think people should hear more about it, I'll be glad to take a look. And if I think it's cool, I'll share it. Now, I will add the proviso, I won't share it if I don't think it's cool. So, don't get angry at me if you go, hey, here's this cool Kickstarter, and I go and I look at it and I go, yeah, this isn't for me, you know. And I'll probably try and keep it limited to sort of geeky stuff, and mildly interesting geeky stuff. So, you know, games and the like. I'm probably not going to be talking about, like, the microfiber ninja shoe Kickstarter, which apparently is a thing, but that's not going to get a lot of me talking about it, you know. But, you know, if it's geeky and I like it and I think it's cool, yeah, I'll definitely talk about it. So if you can think of one that I should take a look at that isn't maybe getting enough love, let me know. I'll be glad to share it with people. But I think I've rambled enough on this subject. I'm not sure I'll call this a ramble. I think I'm going to... I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm just going to call this a regular episode. Because I was sort of on target for the most part. Yay me. I think the heat cooked my brain. It's possible. Either that or my hair is growing into my brain and taking me over. No? Okay. Well, anyway, I'm going to wrap it up and then have loads of fun rendering video and adding bits and little images, and there'll be things floating in midair around my head. It'll be kind of cool. I'll have them over there, I'll have them over there, up there. Okay, yeah, I've gone crazy. Subscribe, like, talk to all your friends. And your enemies, and give people hugs, and randomly, you know, leave, like, links, places, stuff. Anyway, talk to you later. Bye.